Hello and welcome to another episode of the All About the Balls Sports Podcast. It's Ollie here, it's Gareth there, and if you haven't listened before, thank you very much indeed for pressing that download button. Apologies now, but hopefully you'll stick with it. And if you're a regular subscriber, welcome back and thank you for your ongoing support. As you know, we are just two mates who love talking about sport. We don't take ourselves too seriously, which is just as well. And if you are, hopefully you're here for a funny time rather than a factual or informative time. Mate, first things first, how was your weekend? Because it sounds bloody amazing.
Look, I'm not going to lie, it was not boring. I did a supercar driving experience.
Nice.
And I'm not a massive car guy. Anyone who knows me well knows that I drive pretty much like Miss Daisy. Well, that's not true. I would drive Miss Daisy. I don't drive like Miss Daisy.
I was going to say, you're much better than Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
She can't drive for shit.
But I absolutely ragged 4 incredible supercars.
Yes.
And do you know what the best was, and why I would recommend this company to anyone else, is the instructors were absolutely brilliant, and they proper made you go for it.
Oh, really?
I thought it would be like, you drive a bit and but they were like foot flat the whole way around.
Yeah.
Literally, they were like, you've got to get the most out of these cars, smash them around.
So, do you know the company's name? Can we give them a quick plug and then try and get...
I can dig it out. I think it's called Supercar Day or something like that, Supercar Days.
I mean, their marketing department hasn't worked too hard on that, have they?
Well,
if
it's right in front of you, sometimes the best ideas are.
That's what we said about the podcast, mate. And look where
exactly.
it's got us.
Supercar Drive Days, I think it's called.
Nice. Classic.
It was... Yeah, I can't...
What did you drive? What did you drive?
Opened up with the Ferrari 458.
Damn.
It says they're called Supercar Drive Days.
Nice.
So opened up with a Ferrari 458, then jumped across to a Audi R8 Spider.
Ooh.
Then sauntered over to the McLaren 570S.
Oh, very nice.
Which the instructor there was incredible, by the name of Bear.
Yes.
Big man, tattoos. And he just went, if you listen to me, I'll get the most out of the car for you, don't worry. I remember thinking, I am not going to get the most out of this car. And then I finished off with, it's just a very, very,
if you say Ford Fiesta, we'll all be a little bit disappointed.
Well, actually, quite funny you say that. So I finished off my driving experience with a Lamborghini Hurricane.
Oh, mate, a proper mental car,
which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Top down on it. Cruising.
Oh, lads,
absolutely incredible. But what's quite funny you say that, because part of the package I got given as a present was that you got taken around by one of the professional drivers in the end. Yeah. Oh. So we thought, they're gonna, in a Lambo or Ferrari or something, great McLaren.
Yeah.
Renault Clio.
But
RS200. Now, the driving ability for what he did in the Clio was probably pretty impressive. But when you've been in a car that you get to 150, 160 miles an hour and you're actually allowed to do that.
Yeah.
A Clio just feels like you're in an unsafe... I just felt like an 18-year-old again, basically, who just egged in a house and was jumped in the car and drove off. That's what it felt like. But
flashbacks.
But as I say, I can't recommend that company enough. They were amazing. It was at this Top Gear track.
Oh, cool.
Which was cool. And speaking of Top Gear, how was your last few days?
Well, do you know what? It is so weird you say that. I mean, this is not planned at all. That is just natural talent from Mr. Gareth there. So actually, so last week I was at a work conference and met and spent quite a bit of time with the original Stig. Like it's totally random. So one of the guys I work with actually knows him on a personal level. So we rocked up to this conference, and in the evening they were doing like some entertainment stuff, and they'd hired in the Stig because of my colleague's recommendation. So I walk into this to the bar at the hotel and see my colleague over there. So I'll go and have a chat, and he's chatting to the Stig, and so we just sit and have dinner with him for the rest of the night. He has to get up and do his little sort of presentation and speech and answer a few questions and things like that. It's a very, very entertaining guy. And then we came back down, had a bit more dinner together and chatted away and laughed. We talked about Brexit and things like that. And
Now, for any of the skeptics out there, without being funny, how do you know it was the Stig?
Mate, that's actually a very fair question. So someone asked that.
He cannot be the first middle-aged man to claim to be the Stig.
Well, that's the thing. He did actually say, like, he did a bit of Q&A, and one of the people from the conference was like, how do we know you are the Stig? He's like,
fair question.
It's a very fair point. But like, yeah, he had some really interesting stories. Like when he first, so he got, he applied just like through sending in a CV, and got lucky, got nominated, he got picked and things like that. And then for the whole, first few series, like when they were trying to keep it all properly secret and hidden, he used to have to turn up to the test track with a balaclava on, not talk to any of the crew or anything like that. He had journalists trying to go through his locker at the test track to find any kind of clue or hint or anything like that about who he was or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, he properly had to keep it like undercover for quite a while. But he was awesome. Really, really good, really good guy. So, mine was a little bit more sedate, my driving experience. I was just there talking.
Combined, we basically could be the new hosts of Top Gear.
I mean, look, let's face it. Was it Joey from Friends and Chris Evans haven't done a great job, so they can't go wrong with two.
They've now got McGuinness and Flintoff.
Mate, it's still no Lautenberg and Matthews, is it?
Well, God, that would be good.
Mate, can you imagine? Anyway, apparently,
let's talk some sport.
Let's talk some sport. And apologies to all the listeners at home, because if the coughing and the sneezing and the spluttering and the slightly deeper voices, because we're both struggling with very serious cases of man flu. But the pod will always come first.
It will, yes.
Pod first, health second. But there was actually some sport over the last sort of week or so.
Do you want to start rugby? Should we do the Rugby World Cup, because we are in the middle of it?
We are knee deep in it, and and it's, from an England point of view, it's going great. It's going absolutely fantastic.
England, Argentina. What do you think?
So, I mean, look, fantastic. We won. That's great. You can only play the team that's in front of you, or the part of a team that's in front of you, because one of them gets sent off. And England won. They did look a bit disjointed. Once that red card happened, the contest was pretty much over, and it was a secure England victory. Will we win the World Cup playing like that? No. Does it matter? Not right now. As long as we beat France at the weekend and we kick on from there, then actually it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
I mean, were there anyone that stood out, good or bad?
I thought my other man crush, Wonderhill, was good. Yeah. He was good. I thought Ben Young's was better, but not great. I think some of his kicking wasn't as good as it needs to be against the better sides. Like some of his box kicks were a bit too long. Jack Noel, he continued. I mean, that guy, he's got to start. He's awesome. He's absolutely awesome. So yeah, look. So my big question for you, really, and I think for the listeners, is this whole red card stuff. Like, there's a lot of red cards in this World Cup. There was another one today when the Canadians tried taking off one of your beloved Bocky's head at a ruck, which is pretty brutal. But like, there was a lot of debate over the weekend about how the red card just kills the game. It just absolutely kills the contest. No team comes back from it. And there was like debate about what could be the punishments instead, rather than sending someone off and taking a side down to 14. There was chat about make the bans longer after the game. So you're sort of out for 3 weeks, you're out for 6 games or whatever. Yeah. There was talk about.
But does that not then ruin, in theory, just playing devil's advocate?
Yeah.
you get a red card in the beginning of the game, but beginning of the tournament, you don't get sent off. You literally miss the World Cup.
Well, so there's that. I think you're totally right. I also think that making the bans longer after the game, but keeping the player on in the match where they've committed the offence, that means that, like, so for example, England-Argentina, that means that Lavanini gets red carded but continues to play against England. But then it's the teams who Argentina play after the England game that then benefit. So it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then there's talk about so again, in the Argentina situation, you'd send to Lavanini would go off for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, Argentina can have to sub Lavanini. So Lavanini's gone for the game, but and Argentina play with 14 men for 10 minutes, like a sin binning. And then after that, they can bring on one of their subs. So the idea being that for the player, he's gone and he can then get banned after the game as well. And for the team, one of their subs. And that might mean that later on in the game, they don't actually have as many subs as they want, and disrupts their plans and things like that. So, I don't know, mate. What do you think? I still think, if you're if you try and take someone's head off, you need to go.
I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? Because you don't want to kill off the contest. I mean, it would be good. I had this idea for football that instead of extra time, in extra time, every 5 minutes, the other team got to choose one player to come off. So eventually, you're down to 7-on-7 on a full-size pitch for the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Mate, that would be very entertaining.
I mean, that's obviously ridiculous, but I don't know if there's problems in rugby. You have to have certain positions that can't be subbed. But
true.
What you want to do is, if someone gets a red card, the other captain gets to make one substitution for them, so they could take off, for argument's sake, if anyone in the Kiwi side got sent off, you could in theory take off Bowden Barrett if you wanted.
Can you imagine that? I mean, that would add an amazing dimension to the game.
So, but the challenge you're going to have then obviously is that if a prop gets, I suppose you take off Barrett and the prop stays on. It's fine.
So what about this for a yellow card? So the yellow card, if you're the team that's been had the offence committed against you, and so the captain gets to decide either the opposition player goes off for 10 minutes and then comes back on, or you can substitute off one of their players.
Yeah.
So, Lavanini...
Sorry, Oliver's just under attack
sorry.
Anyway, for all the police sirens, that's what...
It's clearly a terrible idea, and they're
run,
coming
Ollie,
for me.
Run.
I'm too tired. So look, I do think that something needs to be done. Also, there's just so many red cards. I know there's a lot of criticism of the referees in the first week not bringing out the cards, but now they've gone ballistic. I think they're trying to increase their averages. It's absolutely insane.
I don't know. Anyone who's listening got any ideas? Hit us up on social media. Let us know. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the solutions, to be honest. But there's obviously a couple of good games coming up this weekend to finish off the group stages. We've obviously got the group deciding game. No. Is it group deciding? England-France? Yeah, that's group deciding. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is. Which sets up the quarters against either Wales or Australia.
Yes.
Either way, so
yes,
that's going to be a nice set of quarters there.
Yeah.
New Zealand got Italy, which is going to be a tricky one, I think, a tricky tie.
I mean, do you know what? It must be one of those things where actually from a coaching point of view, you're like, Christ, I hope no one gets injured.
Yeah.
Don't get injured, whatever you do.
You've got to play the B side, B team really there, don't you?
Yeah.
Although interestingly enough, South Africa, for anyone who didn't see today, absolutely destroyed Canada as expected, but that's them finished in the groups. Which I find very, very odd. Yeah,
we were talking about this, weren't we, sort of off air? It is weird, the scheduling side of things. And I guess there's no perfect solution. But there's some teams who are getting really decent breaks. South Africa must... How long do they have now before their quarterfinal?
They've got 12... I think it's
12
days rest.
Yeah.
Which I mean...
but meanwhile, Argentina...
In a game like rugby, when rest is... probably almost, is more vital than any other sport, I think, in terms of the physical brutality of it. That's got to have an impact.
Absolutely.
If, as expected, South Africa finished second, and something that is not out of the realms of possibility, Japan beat Scotland, Japan will be playing, Japan will be playing South Africa about 6 days later, 5 days later.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because Japan actually played the opening game. So they played the opening game, and then they are playing the very last game.
I suppose the argument is they've got the biggest breaks between them, maybe? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. But then you've got, I know Argentina they're already out. They can't qualify for the next round. But that wasn't known at the time of the scheduling, obviously. And they played on Saturday, and they're now playing tomorrow morning as well. Well, tomorrow morning UK time. So they've only got, what's that, 4 days between matches?
I think Canada, not that it would have had an impact, obviously, but Canada, I think, played 3 games in 13 days.
Yeah. It
just seems all like weird. I don't know. It's strange. It's weird.
Yeah,
is that the problem with groups of 5 that you've got to?
I don't know. They've look. To be honest with you, I don't know. There were some that we've started having a couple of days now where there aren't any games. So I guess and then we've got this final week. I guess they're trying to stagger everything to the weekends.
Yeah.
And we've now, this final weekend of the group stages, you've got 7 games in 2 days, which is a fair whack. And then you've got everyone's got at least 5 days off, I guess. And then you've got the semi-finals. The quarterfinals. The weekend of the 19th and 20th. But look, I think it's interesting. I think from what I've seen so far, it's been an amazing tournament. Everyone who talks about Japan as hosts, it just raves about the fans, the country, the setup. Like, I've heard no complaints at all. Very jealous for anyone who's over there.
As expected, I think it's been a cracking tournament.
Yeah.
Should we move on? To? We're going to briefly just talk about the cricket, because England have appointed the new coach.
Yes,
Chris Silverwood.
We did. I'm going to throw you under a bus here, mate. We were going to talk about India in the first Test match.
Let's talk about Chris Silverwood.
Just very quickly, India were like over 300 for no wicket in that first innings. That was amazing. That's ridiculous. Anyway, we're not talking about it. Not talking about it. Well,
it sounds like we are. I'm going to go through enough pain as it is, dealing with the football chat at the end quickly. So.
Oh yeah, true. We are lining. We're lining up for a bit of fun.
Chris Silverwood.
Chris Silverwood over Gary Kirsten, because everyone doesn't seem to be a shoo-in, and I think. Speaking for myself, for a lot of fans, we were very excited about this. I was looking forward to Gary Kirsten. I think got a lot of credibility. Great coach, great credibility as an ex-player. Been there, done that.
Won the World Cup with India.
Yeah. So and I know that at this level, these coaches aren't necessarily doing loads about technique, but as a successful batsman, I was also kind of hopeful that he might be able to impart some expertise on our top order, who are desperately short of runs. So
he was a gutsy, gritty opening bat, which is the one. If you're going to put together a recipe for England's success, that is one of the missing ingredients.
Yeah,
is that top order.
Exactly.
Grinding it out. So I'll tell you what is a good decision, though.
Yes.
To go with a bowling coach.
So look, I don't know him very well, but I have been doing some reading about him. He seems to have done a great job at Essex, and he seems to be much closer to county cricket than Trevor Bayliss was, than Gary Kirsten, has been and would be. Yeah. So from that point of view, that's cool. I think as well, he's proven himself, I think, both in the Red Bull game county level. My concern is there's a big step up, a massive step up between county cricket, Red Bull, and Test cricket. And
as most top order cricketers in the UK have found out.
Yeah, sadly, as they watch their bails disappear time and time again. So I am concerned. He's already well established. He's the bowling coach. So he's already well established within the team. I think he's got, from what I've read, he's got a great rapport with a lot of the players. He knows, Root and Morgan really well. So there's good foundations there. He's not like a totally left field selection. It's not like, where the hell did you come from? No. But I'm just surprised we didn't go with Kirsten,
with Gary, with Gaza.
With Gaza. Sorry. Now, question for you. Question without notice. Do you think it's right to have one coach overseeing all three forms of the game, or should we be looking at specialist coaches?
I mean, this debate's obviously right because Bayliss is a very, very good. Sorry, I'm just watching the Canada tackle on the red card tackle.
No, it's pretty brutal. It is pretty brutal.
Just for no reason. For no reason to do that.
I mean, just no need. Absolutely no need.
Sorry,
he totally loses his head. But interestingly, I like it when the referee's going to send him off, and he tries to say, "Oh, but I tried to put my arm over the top." Be like, mate, that is not the issue. No. Your lack of arm is not the make or break here. You tried to take off his head with your. That's why you're going to the showers early. It's nothing to do with your arm.
But I'm sorry. So
yes, should we have one man overseeing all three forms, one man, one person overseeing all three forms, or should it be specialist coaches across each one?
Look, I think if the game has gone down the direction of there's specialist players that play only those formats, there's captains that only captain in that format, there's definitely an argument for it. But I don't think you should just do it for the sake of it because there's no one, because he can't cope with white ball cricket or red ball cricket.
Yeah.
You bring someone in for the sake of it, I think it's got to be really thought through. And I think, and at the same time, this is where Ashley Giles' role would be then, almost like a director of football at a football club that has an overarching strategy on everything, basically.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
So basically, I've not answered the question. I've hedged.
No, but you've
firmly on the fence.
Yes, but
what do you think? What do you think?
Done that? Oh, I think you need different coaches. I think all working together, like, you still have them working closely together, but I actually think you have different coaches, partly because of the specialism and partly because each form of the game is now so busy that if you're trying to do all three, you haven't got time to then also be like spending time with domestic county cricket. If you're looking after the Test side, how much time have you actually got just to focus on that, just to go and watch some county cricket, and spend time with the Red Bull players? Because you're thinking next about the next one day series or the T20 World Cup or whatever. So it's not that you can't do it. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think that they are three different forms of the game. Maybe you might have one for ODIs and T20 to, combined, and one for Red Bull.
Yes.
And they have to work together. But yeah, no, I think you need separate coaches.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And speaking of coaches, Jurgen Klopp is becoming annoyingly more loved by everyone.
He's running away with stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so I posed this question actually on Twitter. I don't know if you saw. Let's see how many people we've got voting. So I asked the question this morning. We've already seen Leicester win the league in recent years, which was a total shock and surprise. This is Man United's worst start to a season in 30 years.
Yeah.
They could be very close to the relegation zone quite soon. Will we see Man United get relegated this year? Now, to be fair, and this might be you voting several times, but 100% so far saying no chance. No one thinks they're getting relegated. However, no one thought Leicester were going to win the title, and that was a lot less likely to happen. There's only one team that could win the title. there are 3 teams that can get relegated.
Well, I think it's the shortest odds ever at this stage for United to get relegated.
Yes, there you go, mate. It's a surefire thing.
There is 66 to 1.
That in itself is crazy.
They won't get relegated.
They won't.
Look, I think.
Will they?
I'm going to say one thing and then we're going to move on. But this was expected.
Yes.
And in reality, the whole of United are behind Ollie. There's no rumours, there's no anything. It's almost been accepted that this year is going to be rebuilding, or whatever happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to caveat this with this shouldn't be an excuse for United, but they have got 10 first team players injured. And only 6 of their starting 11 on the opening day against Chelsea, where they won 4-0, are about only 5 available, so 6 are injured. Now, I'm not saying we'd be top of the league or even in the top 3
No,
or 4.
Sure. But you wouldn't be where you are.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing our left back, our right back, our centre back.
You've still got Maguire, yeah?
Maguire.
I mean, thank God.
Who missed an absolute sitter against Newcastle.
Thank God you spent that 80 million.
Well, exactly. Money well spent, I still think. I mean, imagine he wasn't there. We'd be in real dwang.
Yeah, true, absolutely true.
We would be in the relegation zone. So, yes, we're missing Martial, no Pogba. I mean, the real, never mind the value for money with Harry Maguire, the out and out value that we get from Fred at 52 million. I mean, he's got to be one of the worst footballers I've ever seen play for Man United.
It is quite impressive. It's like burning money. Well, it is absolutely amazing.
Burning money would be more enjoyable. Because, do you know why? Because when it's burned, you watch it burn and it's enjoyable. We have to keep enduring him turning up every week trying to do something.
Yeah, and giving him money. So he walks away with it. Yeah. Speaking of have they blown it, ? Spurs. Now they got properly thumped in the Champions League last week. And I have to say, I enjoyed every single one of those 7 goals. And they're at home as well. So, and then they lost 3-0 to the mighty Seagulls.
Well, come on, the Seagulls.
Mate, I mean,
to be honest, Brighton looked very good.
Yes.
But they should not be made to look that good.
I mean, so look, we all have bad weeks. I personally am having an absolute shocker this week. Right. I apologise to all of my colleagues right now. I'm delivering no value whatsoever. But Spurs are off the boil this season.
I think we do a manager swap at the end of the season, see what happens.
I think that actually might happen. I think that might happen.
So, I don't know.
Well, not a swap. I think Solskjaer will be fired. I don't think it'll be a swap as such.
They won't get rid of him.
I really hope they don't. I have long been critical of how fickle, coaching decisions, management decisions are in football. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the coaches get so much of the blame and the players just seem to get more and more money. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But I wonder how long Man United can hold, the board can hold their nerve.
I think they'll go to the summer. I think if we started like this next year, I think they get rid of him at this stage, if that makes sense. Yeah,
there's got to be an uptick though towards the end of the season. Things have got to start turning around. Yeah. Not necessarily, huge long winning streaks and things like that, but just performances.
It makes it even worse with the fact of Liverpool absolutely running away with it.
Unstoppable, man. So this is. So I mean, is it theirs now? Is the title theirs?
Look, I think it's too early. I mean, you don't.
8 points. 8 points. Man City have got to make up.
Yeah, but they've still got 30 games. They're still.
Yeah, true.
There's still 90 points up for grabs.
How many did Liverpool drop last season?
Well,
let's
not talk about last season. We don't live in the past, Oliver, right? If we did, we'd be talking about Man United winning the league as many times as we did. But we can't go on about it all the time. As much as I would love to.
He's going to say you've been a brave man not to bring it up. You've done well.
When was the last time Man City, Spurs, and United all lost in one weekend?
Answers on a postcard. I have absolutely no idea, but that's a bloody good question.
That sounded like I knew the answer, and I didn't dare. So.
Yeah, I was looking forward to a stat there, but
a long time ago is the answer.
Yeah, I absolutely bet they were.
While everyone else slips up, they march on. So look, it's a long way off. I still, as much as it pains me, I think Liverpool should. It's theirs to lose, right? It is theirs to lose now.
But again, I still feel that they're going to slip up somehow. I feel they're absolutely cursed. And it's almost entertaining. I don't have anything against Liverpool, to be fair. I'd quite like them to win it. But they are just cursed, absolutely cursed. But mate, let's wrap this puppy up so we can both get and go and have some Lemsip and a hot water bottle. Let's wrap up with a prediction. England-France this weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, kickoff, UK time.
I like it.
Both have, I'm pretty certain about this, both have qualified now. So this is just about winner, runner-up. And like you say, the winner will likely play Australia in the quarterfinals, and the loser will likely play Wales in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because how much do you get for a win?
4 for a win, and then there's the bonus points as well.
Yeah, so even Argentina, they can't.
Argentina have got one their last
England,
game. Yeah,
England, France. I'm going to go a convincing English victory.
Okay,
28-11.
I'm going to write this down.
28-14.
28-14 to the Mighty Roses. I mean, it's such a cliche, but you just do not know which French side are going to turn up. Like in the first half against Argentina, they were bloody amazing. And then in the second half, they were terrible. Against USA, they were actually quite pants for about 60 minutes. I'm going to go England win as well. I am concerned that we keep playing George Ford at 10 and Farrell at 12. I think that's wrong. I think Farrell should be in at 10, but I'm going to go for 25-19 to England.
Pretty close.
I think it's going to be. I think we're going to win. I think we'll be comfortably ahead, and we'll have won the game. But then France will get like a late score or something like that to make it look a bit tighter.
Okay, and then one more prediction.
Go on.
Japan, Scotland.
Oh, now this is going to be a belter, and anyone who bets against Japan has no soul. Unless you're Scottish, but then you probably battered your soul. But,
I'm going to go 28-26
to Japan.
I think I'm going to say Japan, but I think it's going to be Scotland. But I'm going to go Japan just for.
Mate, 28-26 will be outrageous.
Honestly, I think it's going to be just insane.
Okay. I desperately want Japan to win. I
mean, so does South Africa.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, revenge as well as playing them in the semi would be better than Ireland.
Yes.
Sorry, in the quarter would be better than Ireland.
Okay, Japan. Look, Japan should win this, man. Japan should win this. I think they're going to win it. 17. 17-13. 17-13. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to do some maths. 17-13. 17-13.
What a game.
Either way, it's going to be a belter. Absolute belter. I
can't wait. We've got a great weekend lined up. This time next week, we will know the quarterfinalists.
We will do.
So I'm going to leave it there with you.
Yes.
And go home, get yourself into some nice warm covers with a nice Lemsip and get some rest.
Yes, mate. So I'm going to tuck myself in bed. And you too, buddy. Get well soon, because you need to be in good form for the weekend. Lots of shouting. Go well.
Indeed. Go well. Cheers.